Hi everyone, this is Yu Hao. Today I will discuss an important issue in China: academic pressure and student mental health. Focusing on Jiangsu province, this presentation explores why academic stress is a problem, what research says about it, and how we can address it. About the overview part, it will be four parts of this presentation: introduction, background and the importance of the topic, literature review, key themes from existing research, compression, analysis, reviewing key research papers, and conclusion, research gaps and future directions. First, I will talk about research questions, objective, and key search terms. My main research questions is: how do education policies, school environments, family expectations, and peer competitions contribute to academic stress and student mental health in Jiangsu province? So, about the objectives, identify what factors cause academic stress, evaluate how teachers, parents, and school can support students. My key search terms is academic stress, mental health, double reduction policy, high stock testing, and just province. So let's move on into the background. As we never know, why is it important? China's Gaokao exam is one of the most difficult college entrance exams in the world. Students face pressure from parents, teachers, and themselves. Mental health issues are rising. 14.6% of students show depressive symptoms. 80% of them have anxiety. 27.7 experience high stress. That's what one study says. And what has been done? In double reduction policy, we can know less homework and less tutoring is working. But we do have like the positive effects, but like stress levels are remain high. Now, let me have a good understanding about critical literature review. What is a literature review? It's a way to analyze past research, help us understand what we already know and what is missing. For my literature review process, I use recent like last 3 years studies, compared China's system with other countries, analyze policy impact on mental health, about the key definitions and the critical evaluation, about the key concept, the academic stress, pressure from school and exam, academic pressure. Parents expect students to achieve high grades. Double reduction policy, a policy that limits homework and after school tutoring. And is it working? I mean, less homework does not mean less stress. And study still like students still feel like pressure from parents and school rankings. Now we have a summary of the common themes. What the research shows: education policies, one says Gaokao remains a major stressor. Parental expectations, like families do push like for high performance. Peer competitions, like class ranking, increased stress, mental health issues, burnout, like the depression and anxiety, and everything. So the main issue will be like the stress level is remain high, despite like policy change, academic competition still dominates like the student life. About the key themes like we now have and the key debates we are having. So effective and debates what research agree on. The double reduction policy reduce homework but not stress. University admission and family pressure are biggest issue. What research disagrees on? Some says like the policy helps students balance school and life. Others argue students just like self-study more at home. But the critical perspective, can policy intervention alone fix it, or is a culture shift needed? About the comparison and analysis, paper one says about the effectiveness of double reduction policy. A study been showing student stress before and after the policy, small decline in stress, but parental expectation remain high. The paper two talked about the parental expectations and stress. Large scale study about like 123,000 students in Jiangsu province are covered in this study, and high academic stress remains despite like policy change. The key comparison about these two will be like the first one we can say is focusing on the government interventions, and the second one will focus more on the culture and parental influence. So, in conclusion, stress is more than just workload. Broader like culture expectations shape academic pressure. About the stress, weakness, and relevance. Stress of the study, I think, recent like the policy focus on data relevant to current debates. Large participants tools mix of like the policies research and psychological impact study. Like about weakness, short-term study, no long-term impact analysis, like focusing on the mental health support program, relevance to my project. This study show about the workload reduction is not enough, and the school, families, and policymakers must work together to reduce stress. So, in conclusion, for the OZ research gaps and the refined research questions, so about the key takeaways, academic stress in Jiangsu province is caused by policy, family expectations, and peer pressure. It's from a lot of like influence about our culture, how we grew up, and how we treated like when we have an exam, our classmates competition. We may have like a lot of thinking, a lot of stress from it. The double reduction policy is not a complete solution. It do limit some work like from after school tutoring. It makes them become less, but it's still happening. And schools still trying to use some tools to make students still learn more, but just less the homework. About the research gaps, we need like long-term study on the policy effects. School need integrate like the mental health support. We all know like many schools will have some teacher like helping with your mental health, but that doesn't help because like about the a lot of problem that doesn't help straight and refines like the research questions. How can schools provide psychological support along the workload reduction? And what role do parents play in reinforcing like the or reducing stress? How can peer-based mental health program help students? Is that possible like peer-based mental health can happen like in most schools? And the final thought, reducing workload is a step forward, but true reform requires changing culture expectations and better sports systems. And now here, thank you for your watching. And now is the reference page. Thank you guys very much.